Passion forward, passion, you know it.
And then it's Hanukkah. We're not live?
Oh, yeah, we are now.
We're live. Yeah. We're live, people. I'm just talking about how busy I am this time of year. So I have 2 birthdays from, Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's and Halloween and Thanksgiving. So this time of year is insane. So, but I'm at the end of my marathon. So anyway,
So whose birthdays?
So my younger daughter, Bree, her birthday was on Friday. She turned 14.
Aww.
And so I know, and she's my baby. And so, which is crazy that my baby is 14. And so we had like a weekend of festivities kind of for her birthday with like family stuff and friend stuff and school stuff. And both of my girls are officially now on winter break. Yay!
Okay.
Days where we can sleep in and just be in our pajamas. And then last night I hosted first night of Hanukkah for family. And we did first night of Hanukkah and we celebrated her birthday with my cousins who I grew up with. They're like siblings, and my brother and my mom and my kids. And it was really, it's a tradition. We usually either do the first or second night of Hanukkah together, and latkes and kugel, and whenever we do anything with my family, it's crazy because we have vegans and we have kosher and we have eat everything and we have gluten-free and we've got lactose intolerant. And so it's always like, I feel like I made like 10 different things, but I didn't last night. I kept it pretty low-key, which sort of, for me, it was low-key for me.
That's
but
awesome.
It was fun. What about you? Did you do anything?
I did not do anything last night. I have a lot of Hanukkah things coming up.
Okay.
Dylan was with his dad last night,
Yes.
so I am waiting for him really, and we got things on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
So fun. Are you excited for him to come back? And
I am.
to be
So
we're like
Dylan's
flipped with our kids because you get Dylan like the latter part of Hanukkah, and I have my kids last night, tonight, and tomorrow, and then they go with their dad for the remainder of Hanukkah and Christmas.
So
Which means, when are we going to hang out and go get
next
drinks?
Mondays and next Monday and Tuesday.
Okay. Great. Monday night Voltaire. It's our
Yes.
spot.
So Dylan's first 3 years of his life were, we spent Christmas, first 4 years of his life, sorry. We spent Christmas with a very dear friend of mine in Huntington Beach. She's amazing. But for her, Christmas is the biggest deal in the whole world. And she makes Christmas so incredibly special.
Okay.
And Dylan gets spoiled
Okay.
by all of her family members.
Oh, he must love
So
that.
last year was the first year we didn't do it.
Okay.
So Christmas, in his mind, is such a big thing because it's presents and there's family and there's people and there's all of this stuff. So from last year, I was like, I have to make Hanukkah a bigger deal because that's where we are. So we have the Hanukkah fairy visits us every day of Hanukkah.
So
They're just
fun.
little things, but and on the last day of Hanukkah, he gets a gift from my brother and he gets a gift from me.
Nice.
They were from the Hanukkah fairy.
From the
though.
Hanukkah fairy. Yes, I love that. Yeah, I feel like everyone has like holiday traditions, whatever they are, even if they're like not big traditions, even if it's like, oh yeah, we do this with family, or we even if it's like the same menorah, or the same ornament goes on, the same star at the top of the tree, like every family has things that are actually really meaningful to them and nostalgic. Do you have things?
Well, not so much this time of the year. So I grew up in South Africa, as some of you guys might know.
From the accent.
Hanukkah's not such a big holiday.
Well, it's not supposed to be a big holiday here either. It's just, commercialism.
Yeah.
And capitalism.
So it wasn't, but half my family is not Jewish, so we did celebrate Christmas.
Okay.
And, but Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Passover are really big deals in my family.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where our traditions.
Yeah. Passover is also a huge deal in our family. My girls love Passover. We have a different themed Seder every year. So like one year was Broadway, another year was...
That's so cool.
So fun. Another year was Disney.
Oh, I might be taking that, stealing
yeah,
that
it's
from
really
you.
fun. And actually it used to be, and this is something that now that my kids are older, I miss it, but maybe we'll try and bring it back. But we're really into music and singing, and my girls used to perform. And my ex we were all into musical theater, and so they would literally like recreate the Passover Seder every year and have songs in the theme of like the traditional songs,
That's
but in
so
the theme
amazing.
of whatever. Yeah, and it was really fun. And I have like videos going back of them singing like Dayenu, but like Disney themed, you know,
That is
which
so
is really
amazing.
fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really
I
fun.
love that.
Yeah. So so I'm happy to be back. This is our third time together.
Our third time together,
Third
yes.
time together.
And I hope there will be many, many more.
I hope so. I think so. We're going to do this again tomorrow.
Tomorrow
And
and maybe
and Wednesday too. And then the show is going on Christmas break for a little bit.
For a little bit.
Just for a little bit, just for a
Yes.
few days. And then Michelle and Kyle will be back. We think.
Yes, I think that's the
That's
timing.
plan.
That's the plan.
Is that the right timing?
I think so.
Okay. Or maybe,
Um,
I don't know, maybe I'll be here if I'm lucky. I'll get to come back. I mean, I love doing it. Not that I want to replace you, Michelle and Kyle, but
We just get to hang out all the time.
I like
together.
hanging out. It's been fun.
So before we start with our first thing that we are going to be
Yes.
giving you today on the show,
I'm getting gifts.
you are.
Oh, I love getting gifts.
One's a surprise and one's a gift.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think before we start with with the first thing,
Yeah.
is we're going to play the local video.
Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, the Andy knows what I'm talking about.
Okay.
This is the Ninja Professional. What I love about this is the suction. I wanted to move it over, but you saw how powerful that suction is. That is actually the first thing I love about it. Great instruction manual, but the inspiration guide is awesome. You can really get excited about what this Ninja can do. So if you want to use the single serve, you can do that. And of course it does have the lids, which is so great. So you make it, you get to put your lid on it and carry it around with you. So let's release this again. Let's put the lid to the side. This is the part that I think is so amazing about this Ninja Professional, is most blenders have a blade at the bottom and it pulls everything down to cut it up. This has 3 blades at 3 different levels, cutting it all the way up to the top. This is amazing. I'm so excited to use this because of this 3-blade system. It's amazing. Because I don't know about you guys, but so often it's like you got to keep like pushing things down to get them in there. And then what do you... So here you don't even have to. You don't have to just turn it on and it will do it for you. So yes, we are here on Sway TV, on Amazon Live, on this wonderful day discussing all things Ninja Professional. So you get it to line up, put it down, lock it in place, turn on the power. So there's a little light that says the power is on. And let's start off with speed number 1, and let's see how it does on speed number 1. And then we can always move to speed number 3. Isn't that amazing? Just open up the spout here at the top. And look at that. Is that not so amazing? There we go. Oh my goodness, so smooth, absolutely delicious. So yes, that is the Ninja Professional.
Sway.
Yes, how awesome is that blender?
I love that blender. I love it. In fact, I will say, so we had a Vitamix. I lost the Vitamix in the divorce.
Oh,
But I got the Ninja,
That
and
Ninja's
I
amazing.
love it.
You know what I love
it.
about that is because it's got a blade all the way up that,
All
which is
the- yes.
amazing.
Yeah, and I also like the individual attachments. So like my girls sometimes will put stuff in one of the individual attachments and just blend it and then literally just flip it and then take it to
with
school.
you. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
so I actually really love, and there's been nothing that I have wanted to do that I haven't been able to do in the Ninja. I love the Ninja. Great purchase.
So I used the Ninja this morning to make you something.
Oh, you did?
You came in so nicely on Friday with coffee for us. So I had to share a little bit of my life with you.
Okay, I'm
so
really
both
excited.
of us are obsessed with the brain.
The brain,
So
huge,
I
yeah.
have this book called The Brain Saver. This is
Okay.
part 1. The book comes in 2 parts because
Okay.
it's so thick.
Okay.
And this is all about how to like detoxify your brain,
Ooh,
keep it
can I
clean.
see it?
You can, of course you
I
can.
am. You know how obsessed
So
I am with
I
the brain.
made this morning
What did you make?
for you to try
I
out.
am so
and
excited right
taste.
now.
It is a combination of the
Yeah.
heavy metal detox smoothie and the extractor smoothie.
Okay. What's in it?
taste
It's not
it. And
green, so that's good because we talked about the fact that as much as I've tried to get into green drinks, I just can't do it. I just can't. Okay. Oh, it smells really good.
I'll tell you what's in it afterwards.
That's delicious. I could drink this every day. That is so good.
Well, cheers to a healthy
Cheers.
brain.
Yes, to a healthy brain. Happy and healthy brain. Okay, what's in it?
Okay, so it is.
This is delicious. This is so good. I could drink this every day. What's the spice?
It's mustard seed powder.
Okay.
Um,
It's like the perfect amount.
okay, I love it. I
good.
absolutely love it. So the elements that
Did it come from this book?
yeah, so the elements
Okay.
that a heavy metal detox are
Can we show this book?
spirulina,
Okay.
barley grass powder,
Yeah.
wild blueberries, cilantro, and dulse.
What's the
Dulse.
last one?
It's like a kelp.
Okay.
Then the extractor elements are also wild blueberries, frozen mango, parsley, radish, and mustard seed powder. And I combine it all together and blend it up.
That's what's in
And
there.
that's it. You know when I have my little blender
Yes.
on the desk every day?
Yes.
That's what's in it.
It is delicious. I could definitely do that. So you're gonna have to tell me exactly again after the show so that I can. Will my Ninja be able to do it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, you see my little blender.
Yeah.
It does it.
And it does it?
Does it
Okay.
great.
Okay. And what else? What are some other big takeaways from this book? I want to get. Look at Patty. She wrote about this book. I always like looking to see who has comments
Comments
on the
on
book. Yeah, and who like endorses the book. I always think it's really interesting to see. Marianne Williamson
I
did.
like
There's
it.
lots of really.
There's all kinds of interesting people. In
Yeah.
his previous book, there was also a long list of interesting people.
Yeah. This is.
But yeah, so that's what I wanted to share because you were so kind to bring coffee in the other day, so I had to do something for you.
Oh, Natasha,
And,
that's so sweet of you.
That's what I did.
I love it. I really love it. I love it. And you know, like so Natasha and I off camera were discussing how I want to do like a health detox and like bring someone in and like basically overhaul my life. Well, actually, we did talk a little bit about it on camera.
Yeah,
on
we
Friday.
did.
But then off camera, I was saying how I have numerous times tried like green drinks and I just can't get into them. I actually love wheatgrass, which is funny, but any green drink I have ever tried from any place, I cannot drink them. So, but this I could drink every day. It's delicious.
Delicious, and you should drink it every day.
Yeah. So is that, you have this every single day? Is this how you start your day?
No, I just have it during the day. So yeah, so I have it at some point during the day.
Yeah.
You need to just have it within a 24-hour period.
So once a 24-hour period, one time every like
yeah,
within
so
a
you need to
20
just have those ingredients once. If you don't want to have it in a smoothie, you could just actually.
I could not eat all those.
I also couldn't.
Yeah.
This is true. Oh,
So-
did I say there was parsley in there? Did I
Yes,
mention that? Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Which actually, you know what's really funny? I really taste the parsley. I really taste the mango. I really taste the mustard seed. But then like everything else just kind of like, oh, and the blueberries I really taste too. It's funny because normally you would have to put like banana or something to sweeten, like I know a lot of people
Well, the
do.
heavy metal detox smoothie does have that. So the
Okay.
heavy metal detox smoothie has the 5 things that I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
plus an orange and 2 bananas. I canoot have either of those 2 fruits.
Okay,
They make me cough.
okay.
Um,
This is delicious.
So I was just making the detox smoothie with those elements.
Yeah.
And not the
Not the
banana.
sweet stuff?
Yeah, I was like
How?
holding my mouth.
I was gonna say like
holding
how
my
could
nose and drinking it, but because I was like, I believe that it actually does that good in your body, so I was okay drinking it.
Do you feel a difference drinking this?
Do I? You know what? I haven't stopped drinking it since I started it.
Okay. Did you notice a difference when you crossed over into starting to drink it? Did you notice a difference in how your body felt?
Well, I've been having the heavy metal detox for a long time.
Okay.
For a while.
Okay.
I've noticed a tremendous change in my body.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of been on this healthy thing.
Yeah.
Always looking for like what's going to keep me super healthy, what's going to keep me, my body strong and young, and
Yeah.
to prevent aging as much as possible. So I kind of always been like that. So Medical Medium, I read his first book in.
And what you don't know is that Natasha and I are really in our 70s.
Exactly. So I read his first book in like 2020-ish.
Yeah.
Not his first book, just one of his books, The Thyroid, something about the thyroid.
Okay.
Because I've had like borderline issues on that. So I read it and I did the cleanse, and I didn't really like pay much attention to it. Like it impacted my life in some way, but not really. And then I told you when I did Life Mastery, he was one of the speakers. And prior to him being a speaker at the event, they sent out a video, him preparing you for the event, because during Life Mastery you do a cleanse. And I was like, this man is amazing. I went and reread the thyroid book. I read the other one, it's called Cleanse to Heal or whatever. And absolutely changed everything in my life. I don't have any more plastic containers at home. I don't use plastic bottles. I use glass for everything.
Glass.
I don't even, like my teacups are glass. Like so much stuff I changed.
There's a drink in here. I'm just like, as you're talking to me, I'm just kind of leafing through this, called the Guilt and Shame Shifter.
It's awesome.
Have you had it?
I've had
love
it. I actually don't like the taste of it, but I felt different that day.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's got a potato in it.
It does. It has ginger, spinach, which I actually can't do spinach. I can't. Yeah,
it's not that one.
And an orange. I can't spinach.
So when he came out with the book,
Ooh,
he
an
did.
ego shifter. I have some people we could give that to.
Me too. I actually do. You know what I do pretty regularly?
Huh?
Is that dream shifter? It's pretty intense.
This
Whoa,
one?
I have crazy dreams, and I have that one.
Do you? When you?
Yeah.
Is this like do you have it before you go to bed at night?
Yeah.
I
It's got like ginger and cherries and mango.
Yeah.
But
You know
one
what's
I
interesting?
have-
Most of these have ginger.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you know like what the healing properties are specific to ginger?
So I've always been a ginger person.
Yeah.
I used to have ginger in hot water and lemon, like from when I
Yeah.
was like a teenager.
Yeah.
It is a immune booster. It is an anti a lot of things that you would have. I just don't know if I can mention them on Amazon. Anti-bugs. It has a lot of healing and properties and antioxidants. So
Yeah.
I mean, I have a ginger shot every single day.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you make it yourself or do you
Yeah,
get it? You do?
I'm a big juicer. But we're going to move on from this topic now because we have so many things to talk about today.
But I just love, I'm so excited to like leaf through this more and to really like get into it. So thanks
You're
for
more than
showing
happy
me.
to
Can I
borrow
borrow
it.
it?
You can borrow
okay,
it.
amazing. Thank you.
Because as I told you, I've got the audiobook.
Okay, yes, we know. Natasha likes to do everything on audio and I like to read.
Because I like to do two things at the same time.
Yes, I know. I can't. I'm not like a multitasker in that way. Like when I'm reading, I have to be like reading. I can multitask the crap out of the rest of my life,
Yeah.
but yeah, reading, I have to.
I should have
like
bought
to
the
pay
other
attention.
part for you as well. But I can also print out the PDFs. We can discuss that later.
Okay.
So anyway,
I have to go on
So-
to Amazon and order it.
Andy and I have so loved doing the show with you
Yes.
over the last few days. Let's see.
Look at it, it's so beautiful.
To give you
Thank
that.
you.
Just
I
a little
love it.
holiday
Should I open
thank
it
you
now?
gift. You can open it
Okay.
now.
Look at how pretty this is. It's wrapped so beautifully. Thank you so much. You guys know that I like gifts. Andy, last year I got the silk pajamas and also the Ember mug, which are two like favorite staples in my house. Use them all the time still.
We are hoping that this one you will use regularly, probably daily. And you will-
Daily? Really? But then I'm going to be sad I can't actually come in here every day. I'm
But
going
you
to want
can.
to hang out. Oh, I love this. You guys know I love to journal. This is called The Universe Has Your Back Journal. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Andy. I love it. I'm a big journaler. In fact, yesterday I had multiple sessions in my other job, and I was trying to get all of the teens that I work with I was trying to encourage them to journal because it's a great self-care
thing.
Yeah, and we are really big on self-care, and it's so important, and journaling I think is one of the best ways to do that. So
I read this book a while ago, and
Yeah.
it was talking about like you've got to do whatever you've got to do to make sure that you're okay, because that's
Yeah.
pretty much what the book was about.
Yeah.
And she said it doesn't matter if you've got to come home and you've got to journal. You get your toddler to. She was talking about like whatever age kid it was, you
Yeah.
know. But you get your toddler to tell them you're going to go and write your feelings. They must come and draw your feelings.
I
And
love
that's what I
that.
do with Dylan. I
Listen,
said,
yeah.
Mommy's going to write her feelings now. Do you want to come draw them?
Yeah. Well, I love the story that you shared with us about when Dylan wanted to break the board, but how you did. Will you share that again? I just love that with the piece of paper. I'm going to use that. I just want you to know I'm going to borrow that and
absolutely.
use that with like some of the younger kids that I work with because I just think it's so empowering and it's such a great visual and mental exercise, and that's hard to do with kids.
Yeah. So it was just a blank piece of paper.
Natasha can break a board. You know, like when you see people breaking boards in like at the Tony Robbins seminars.
Jake and Emily's
Jake
event.
and Emily's event. There are lots of events where the culminating activity is that on one side of the board,
On the one side of the board, you get to write down your limiting belief. And on the other side, you write what your life would be like without that limiting belief, like the beautiful life that you envisioned for yourself.
and then you,
Break through the limiting belief to get to that beautiful life.
which I have never done, but you have
Oh,
multiple
you know what?
times.
Why don't we do that?
You're like, that'll be a fun activity for live show tomorrow. Let's watch Marissa break her wrists live.
No, it's not. It's really super easy. You'll see how easy it is to actually do.
Okay. So, but you've done it multiple times. And you wanted to do it with Dylan. When
So
he
the first
was-
time I actually ever did it, I was doing it, and Dylan said he wanted to see me do it because I decided I
And
was going to
Dylan
break
was
the
4 at the time.
I was going to break the board the next day.
Right.
And then I did it, and he got so excited because I was actually showing him everyone else on Zoom who was doing it because I love to show him ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Love that.
So, like I was pointing out, look at that really, really old lady, and look at that person, and look at that very young person. And he was like, Mommy, you do it. Come on, Mommy, you do it. I was like, okay. So I did it. And then Dylan was like, do it again. So I did it
Have
again.
like multiple boards.
Well, I didn't. So I broke the board in half, and I didn't exactly break it in the middle. So I had this like little extra piece that I just
Did that.
did that with. And then Dylan said he wanted to do it, and I didn't have a board. Number one, number two, I was didn't realize that that he would be able to do it. So I told him to do it on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So on the one side of the paper, he took a black marker and he drew out all kinds of things that he didn't like. And then on the other side of the paper, he drew these beautiful pictures with hearts and rainbows and all kinds of things and
I
pretty
love that.
colors. And
I love that. I mean, I really love that because it's such a visual message to a child, that on a day, in a moment, or even in a really big, over time, if things are not going the way that you want them to, that you can always break through that and get to the other side. And I think that is such a great visual representation for kids because that's such an abstract way of thinking, right? Like as adults, we have life experience, we have the context to understand time and how things change and how we can impact those things. But young kids, they don't have that yet because that's a very abstract way of thinking. And so what you did is you took something that is very abstract and you created a very real activity around it for him to understand. And I think that that's a beautiful thing because it's not that parents don't want to do that, but I think they genuinely don't know how to take some of these like abstract ideas that we talk flippantly about to our children. Like even the concept of sharing, like how adults will say to their 2-year-old, it's time, you have to share, like a 2-year-old doesn't understand what that means. So we have to teach them, So I love that you did that with Dylan.
that was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was just a little bit of something.
Thank you.
'cause we
I love
appreciate-
it. I'm really excited to start writing. Can I tell you something really funny?
Yes.
Okay. It's funny, sad, and it's total karma. So we've talked a little bit on here about my little black book
Yes.
and how I write down notes on all of the dates I've been on. And
Yes.
Yes. So the other day after we were shooting in the studio, I got home, and by the way, it was in my work bag with my computer and my 2 work notebooks where I keep my notes for all of the people that I see, etc. And I had put, apparently, not thinking when I was rushing out of here to whatever, I don't know what I was thinking, but I had put a bottle of water in there in my bag.
No.
Yes, and I got home and there was water all over the bottom of my bag. My journal was essentially ruined. My 2... Yeah.
Yes, that's what we're talking about, the good one.
My nightmare journal. So it was like covered in water. I was
Is it
saying
salvageable?
karma. It's salvageable, but I would have to like really like look and like go through, which I'm gonna do. My plan is to like, and Andy wants the the context, the notes, the stories, but also my personal journal was in there as well.
Oh, no.
So I lost like a lot of stuff that was really like meaningful. Not to mention like a book of notes that I had about the people that I work with. It was, I got home, I couldn't, like I never put liquids or food in that bag because it's also where I carry my computer. And I literally like, I knew something
Is
was
this
wrong.
after ice skating?
It wasn't after ice skating. That would have been funny though. It wasn't after, no, it was literally after we had done the show. I can't remember now if it was Thursday or Friday, but I must have been rushing out of here to get home. And I threw a bottle of water in there and it wasn't closed. It was it was the one that it was like an Icelandic bottle of water. I just wasn't closed properly. And so by the time I got home, it was all over the bottom of my bag.
Oh no.
And multiple notebooks were ruined. Thankfully, my computer was in a protective sleeve, but still. So the first thing I thought to myself was karma. Like I should but
It's not karma.
it's not karma, but
No.
you know. But so anyways, I'm really excited about this. So thank you so much. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Natasha. I love it. I will definitely, the universe did not have my back that day, but
It does now.
it does now. It does now. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So thank you. So what else? What else? What are,
So you also got to interview a really
I did.
Awesome
Are we going to
person
talk
last
about
time.
Bliss first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So on my show, Life 2.0, which will be airing starting in January, I'm super excited about it. It's all about, you know, mainly geared towards women in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, recreating, reimagining, redesigning life after where we thought maybe it would have taken us and where we are now, right? And so one of my guests I recently interviewed was an incredible man by the name of Randall Kaplan, who has had an illustrious professional career, but is also a dad to 5 kids and on his second marriage and travels the world and has, in addition to all of the companies that he has started, he also has a company called Sandy, which is kind of like a Yelp for beaches around the world.
I love that. By
It's
the way. I think
amazing.
that's
It's
such a
really,
good
and
idea.
it also like gives you like a cool way to travel the world and write off your vacation. So, I mean, so smart, Randall. Like, wish I had come up with that one. But he also, when he travels, he always travels with 2 drones, and he has been an avid photographer for years. And so he created this book called Bliss, which has pictures from the beaches that he has traveled around the world. And I believe we're going to show a short video. This incredible book that you created through all of your drone photography, beaches around the world for your new company, Sandy.
Yeah.
It's exquisite. The photography is just stunningly beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
I look forward to Bliss Part 2.
There's a story about the book
Yes.
that if I can share with you,
I
it'll
would
take
love
2
it.
minutes.
I would love it. Yeah, please.
So how does one get a book published,
Well, these days you either publish it yourself
right?
or you have a publisher who's interested and wants to make a book deal.
Right. So I love photography. I'm a droner. I take 2 drones wherever I go if it's a warm weather vacation.
Okay.
And Gray Mallon is someone who is a phenomenal drone photographer. He takes pictures out of a helicopter, but it's the same kind of a view. So I said, gosh, you know, why is there only one Gray Mallon? And I said, there has to be room for another one. So I found out his publisher, Abrams Books. I called the CEO, Michael Jacobs. I actually emailed him first. And I said, hey, I'm drone photographer and I'm interested in making a book. I mean,
You got to ask. You got to shoot your shot.
I'm emailing the CEO
I
of
love
a
this,
huge
though.
book, a huge
love
book
it.
company.
I mean, there's
and
such a lesson in that, right?
Send him a link
Yeah.
to my website that had a bunch of pictures. Said, I love your pictures. Too competitive with Gray. We can't do it. Good luck.
No.
So most people, I think 99% of people at that point would have been thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like endings like that. And so I wrote back, would you be willing to have a 15-minute conversation with me on Monday? I'm new to the book business and love to learn from people. And I think that mentorship is very important.
Yeah.
And he said, okay. So I called him on Monday. Instead of talking for 15 minutes, we talked for an hour.
Wow.
And I think the fact that I was really interested and earnest and sincere, at the end of the conversation, I said, who else should I approach in terms of getting my book published or making a book? And he
Yeah.
gave me two names, two publishers.
Okay.
And I said, well, would you make introductions? He said, no, but feel free to email them and use my name.
Ah, interesting.
So I
it's kind of a lukewarm.
So it was dropping the name down in the
yeah,
email.
Yeah.
So a month later, I had a deal with one of the two companies to sell my books. It sold 10,000 copies since then.
That's amazing.
But when you tell people the story, people said the odds. I mean, I talked to people in the book business, the odds, agents. They said they've never heard anything like that. It's 1 in a trillion that you emailed the CEO of a major publishing house to make a book, and yet that email led, and I've made money on my book.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so there's a lesson there. Don't give up.
Perseverance.
And the ending is never the ending if you really want to focus on the end goal and the end game.
Yeah, I love that. Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to Bliss too.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now we're back. I was like, it looks like the video's done. Okay, so this is the book. It's called Bliss Beaches. And this is just one example.
So beautiful.
Yeah, like a spread of the beaches. And one of the things I don't know, I can't remember what clip we just played, but one of the things I told Randall that I really loved.
Was the story about
how
got
he had it made, right? Okay, how it came to fruition. So, because I didn't want to repeat myself. But what I love so much also about this book is that it's got so many California coastlines in here. And because I'm biased, but I think that our coastlines are just beautiful.
They're spectacular.
Yeah, they're spectacular. And there are not actually that many books that are just focused purely on the California coastlines. And while this is not focused purely, he definitely has included other beaches. It's probably like 60-40, I would say, like 60% California. And I loved seeing, it's just really fun to see how he caught, all of these beaches that like we get to go to with our kids and we've been hanging out at for years. And it's just fun to see the aerial views. So really love this book, Randall. If you are in need of a holiday gift, it's a beautiful
It's a
coffee
good
table.
gift for yourself, not for somebody else.
Yeah, I was saying the last time we talked about it, I was saying that this has become inspiration for my visualizations because I just think that I'm at one of these beaches and put myself in that place and then take it away.
Every time you mention your visualization story,
Yeah.
I think of I read about this many years ago, and I've always thought it was kind of cool, is that, people talk about visualizing a life experience or something that you want to experience, or going
like manifesting.
like manifesting,
Yeah.
or having like a goal and you want to like visualize that goal,
Yes.
or having a place that you want to visualize. And this woman who I was reading this article by was saying that how does she choose? There's so many things. So she made a little jar and she wrote down all little notes, folded them up, and put them inside.
I
And when it
love
was time to
that.
do the visualization.
She would pick it
she'd
out?
pick it out, and that would be the one that she would do.
I love that. I might
So
have
every
to do
time you
that.
mention that, I think of it.
That would be really fun to, even if we had a jar here and we could like pick out, we got to figure out some segment where we do something like with picking something from a jar. That would be fun.
We
have
could
to
do that
think about
tomorrow.
that. Yeah.
We'll do that
We
tomorrow,
could think
for
about
sure.
that and put that into play. That's like tomorrow we're also going to do some fun on the street segments
We
with my
are?
daughter. I think my
Yes.
younger daughter is going to come in and do some filming with us on the street. We have some fun stuff in store. So you'll have to come back and hang out with Natasha and me tomorrow.
Tomorrow, can you believe that, guys? It's going to be
gonna-
almost a whole week of us.
I mean, a whole week. A whole week. Okay, so yeah, and then do you want to talk about the other?
So
not
yeah,
yet,
so we had another amazing person in the studio last week, thanks to Miss Emily Ford. I think let's play the clip, and so you guys can get a little taste of who this man is, and then we'll talk about him.
I feel like you have really mastered the art of relationships.
Yeah.
Like what advice can you give to people on that? Because again, so many people watching this right now, like they want to write a book, they want to make a podcast, they want to build a sales team, and it's like everything is so transactional.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Well, you have to learn, like, and this is where I'm starting to master the art of abundance and reciprocity. And I've studied it my whole life, but there's a difference between study and action
Mm.
and actually habit.
Oh, yeah.
So it now, and me and Jake were talking about this earlier, it's like relationships have now become a habit to me. It's like you have to think about intentionally living that. But
Mm.
now it's just like become a habit that I'm really, really, really focused on deep, deep relationships where I'm not just snorkeling with people.
Yeah.
I'm like totally scuba diving with them. So if you think about relationships, a lot of
Mhm.
times we get hurt
Yeah.
because we have an expectation.
Truly.
And so I used to have expectations. I used to be very transactional. You know, I used to be like, learn to give to get.
Yeah.
Now, guess what I do?
You give.
I give to give.
Yeah. Give to give.
I give to give. And that's how you live the law of reciprocity. My favorite thing, like I've really learned my secret, my core competency and what I love to do, what drives the most energy for me is when I see somebody that I'm working with on stage or on TV or
Yeah.
just crushing it with their book or hitting the New York Times. Like that's what gets me excited when I see my friends and those that I love just crushing it in life. It drives the most satisfaction for me. I don't have any anger in my heart because I have zero expectations.
That's right.
And now I things are just flowing and coming, and you can't all of a sudden you can't stop it. I put God first, right? Put God first, and everything else
Yeah.
will fall into place.
Amen. I've had a tremendous shift. Even when I made this show,
Yeah.
So many people are like, what's the plan? What's the business plan? What's the sponsored ads? What's the, this is during COVID. And I was like, I just want to turn on the mic and like share my wisdom.
Yeah.
I just want to share.
Yeah.
And same with like social, building the brand. I'm like, I just want to give.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to give. And I know that the right people will come into my life that I can serve, that I can do business with. But it's such a different space to be in that space versus like, what can I get? What can I get? What can I get?
And you need to always remember this too. It's not who you know, it's who knows you and what they think about you and what they say about you when you're not there. Like if people like you, they'll listen to you. If they trust you, they'll buy from you.
Yeah.
But if they have an experience with you, they'll never leave you.
Ugh.
But there's a fourth level. If you transform and change their life, then they will become a massive disciple of yours and shout your name from the rooftops. I only work with people that I love, like, and respect. And 2, I have a group of 5 people in my phone that are like my superstars. And then I have 25 people. So I have 30 people in my favorites in my phone. And that is who I'm doing life with the most. Right?
Okay, this is major.
A lot of people say, Randy, you're one of the best business and life strategists I've ever met.
Yeah, you are.
And
Truly.
it's because of this. Let me tell you the big, huge secret that I'm going to reveal. So many people work on their business strategy. I work on their people strategy first, and the business actually will automatically work. I'm just challenging people to ensure that whoever you're working with, that there's trust, you're committed to excellence, you do your best, and you care and love each other. UAC, which is understand, agree, and commit. Too many times in business relationships, we'll commit to stuff we don't fully understand, we don't fully agree to. Is that a lot of people look at individuals and people as transactional. Oh, they'll be here for a little while, then they'll leave. What if they don't? What if you do such a great job that you build an amazing legacy and a kingdom with those that want to be there and want to be with you, and you transform each other's lives, and you have a company that becomes transformational.
Oh, what a mission.
One of the things that I love to do is I love to work with leaders, because if I can impact 20 leaders that are impacting millions, then I've impacted 20 plus million people.
That's right.
I don't need to be in the limelight. Like I'm sharing these tools with you right now, but like I said, like I love to see you win and those that I work with win so big.
I mean, such an interesting man. I mean, did you not, like, there were so many takeaways just from that little clip, and it really gives you insight into who this man is. So Andy went out after him being in the studio and bought his book. It's called Prosper, and it really is about creating the life that you want and being intentional. He is all about being intentional about your life, about who you spend your time with, what you put your energy into. And this is not just a book. I was reading here in the beginning. It is a workbook. It is for you to be taking actions. You can't change your life if you're just going to be passive about it. There is nothing about, you can't just read a book and expect your life to change. You have to read the book and put it into practice. So this is a workbook. And I am excited to get stuck into it, and I'm sure you are too.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And we are just feel so blessed and privileged to have met him.
He was really wonderful, so kind. You know, I have to say, it's interesting being here in the studio and interviewing the people that we interview. And one of the things that has really stood out to me so far, you know, with everyone that I've met who either has come in to interview with me or Emily or you or, you know, on any of the shows that we do here, everyone has been so kind. And we're talking incredibly successful business people, you know, men and women who have these amazing careers that have spanned decades. And, you know, they don't know me, they don't know you, they don't know, and they're taking time out of their really, really busy schedules. Not just work, by the way. Like, a lot of the people that have come in here have like 4, 5, 6 children, right? And so, like, they're doing so many things in their life, and they are so incredibly kind that, and they talk about, you know, kindness in their life and kindness in work, but they genuinely practice it because they take the time to talk to us. And
I mean, that's what I loved so much. What Randy said. Is I give to give.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just gone beyond. It's just I just want to give,
not
so I can
transactional.
just give and keep giving and keep giving, and so other people can continue to give what I've given them. Is just keep paying it forward.
Paying it forward. It's just an interesting concept, right? Because I do think that a lot of times people starting out in business or, you know, in whatever their career path may be, I think they almost think of it as more transactional. You know,
Absolutely.
What can you
I
do
think
for me? And right. And
I think it's more get to get in that point, like when
or
you
give to get.
Not even, because they don't even think they just want to get.
Get, yeah.
They don't even see it. They just want to get. Like I'll, you know, and then it starts to become I'll give to get.
Yeah.
And then, just taking it really to another level. That to me, I thought was just so beautiful, and he really has lived an intentional life, and just even the things that he was saying in that interview about how he organizes his contacts in his phone and how he interacts with the people that he engages with in his life. It is so intentional, and it is living about for him, all of that leads to living a prosperous life, and that's why this book is so incredible. And we are in the studio excited to read it and talking about giving to give. And this amazing man, Mr. Randy Gahn, he sent this to me. I have no idea what it is.
You're gonna open it?
I'm gonna open it on
air, live on air. Woohoo!
And I got a message to say that he is sending me his favorite book.
Oh, really? Oh, I can't wait to see. So this is Randy Gahn's favorite book that he is sharing with you.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that actually it is really interesting to always find out, you know, people who are successful, what are they interested in? Like we were talking the other day about Malcolm Gladwell. I would love to know what he reads. What is this? Have you read it? Do you know it? Why are we laughing?
She was in the studio the other day.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Who interviewed her?
Emily interviewed her.
Oh, that is really funny.
It is so amazing. Yes, this is so incredible. I think this woman is an inspiration and an amazing human being. And Randy, thank you so much for this book. I cannot wait to get started and get stuck into it. This is just such an amazing gift, and to even just know this woman personally, and having had met her and interacted with her, something so incredible, and it really has come full circle.
That's what happens.
This
what
book.
happens.
So, just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I so appreciate it.
It's such a fun day. Gifts all around.
Yes, it is.
Good, healthy drinks. So I guess tomorrow I shouldn't bring Prosecco in.
Oh, tomorrow can be the unhealthy day.
I was going to pour some little mimosas,
We could have an unhealthy day.
some
tomorrow.
gluten-free scones.
Sure.
No, this is great. This is so fun. Yeah, well, I'm really excited to read Prosper as well. I'm going to have some very good quality downtime in a few days when my girls go with their dad out of town for about a week. And so I plan on doing a lot of reading and staying in my pajamas.
So you should actually borrow Prosper first.
Yeah, well, you don't want to read it before you have... It depends.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
I pick
yeah,
it up on
that's-
Wednesday,
Oh, then yeah,
so
then
yeah,
yeah,
you borrow.
I'll take it and
So-
I'll read it. And
Okay.
what's going on?
No, there's just some
Oh.
technical issues.
Oh,
that
you
we're
know,
having.
we're
No,
live.
We're
Stuff
live
like
and
that
we love being
happens.
here. And yeah, this is just a pretty awesome day we are having here on
Yes.
Sway TV. And just for you guys, for those of you who are joining us, I am Natasha, and this is the wonderful.
Hi, Marissa. Hello.
And we are so happy to be spending our time with you talking about all kinds of things here on Sway as we sway through this wonderful day, the start of the start of this intense holiday period. I think the holidays really start
It's intense.
in people start winding down around Thanksgiving, but this is really the time
Yeah.
where people spend time to focus on their families, resetting for the new year, and we are sharing it with you and couldn't be in a happier place.
This is very true.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be fun to do a red flags moment.
We will
do
definitely
that.
do a red flags moment. We will have a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Especially because I want to talk about, we were watching the Roxy Stryer video.
Oh, there are
And,
so many things to talk about in
and
that
I
video.
want to discuss that because being a woman who is a little bit older than her, a lot older, I would like to share some knowledge because I was worried for her when she was explaining her date. And
I mean, there was
and if this is happening out there, you know, if there are women in their 20s and 30s putting themselves in these types of positions, well, Natasha, we have to set them straight.
Absolutely. I mean, we have to clear this up. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, I just don't understand. Okay, I think these are the things that I thought about listening to her video, and we'll talk more about it when we get into our red flags. But I want to is that self-love and self-confidence to say no, this is not acceptable.
Self-worth,
Self-worth,
self-esteem, it's
all
like
of
all
that.
of it, yeah.
And you know what, I read this, someone gave me, actually, so remember I told you I had the regressive hypnotherapist
Yes.
on my show?
Yes.
Amazing woman who's become a very dear friend, and I love her, and I hope that our friendship continues to grow. When she left here, because she knows pretty much everything that's going on in my life, it's so interesting that I just want to say this one thing, when something really awful can happen in your life, or an instant of something awful happening, how many beautiful things can come from it.
If you're open to it.
Like, you know that I had a little situation a couple months ago,
Yeah.
and through that, I met her.
Oh, really? I didn't realize it was because of that.
Yes.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So someone had set me up had set me up with a call with somebody else, and this person, they run an amazing organization across Los Angeles, and she connected me with talking about like paying it forward and giving, giving to give. And so we were talking, and I told her like kind of what my mission is in life.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, I have to introduce you to this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. Everyone in my office is going to come on your show, and everyone, it's like, we've already lined it all up.
amazing.
So they just want to do things in the new year,
Yeah, yeah.
at the time.
I know.
So I met her through that. And she came, and when she left here, because she knew everything that was going on, she said that these are the things that helped her. And she gave me this beautiful little copy of the 4 Agreements. And she said to me, you work through that book and you do not move on to the next one until you work through it, like you go through it. So I read the book, like audiobooked it a number of years ago, but I didn't actually I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. But I wasn't very
You weren't in the right place to really receive it. the
I
way you
wasn't
needed
very
to.
intentional about it and wasn't very committed to, you know. 'cause
Well, you
it's,
have to be. Someone once said to me that when you get any kind of self-help, whether it comes from any kind of consultant, whether it's specifically to like internal healing or business or anything, that you have to be in the right place in your life to receive it, or it will go in one ear and out the other.
Absolutely.
And I genuinely believe that, because there have been books that I've read at one time in my life that not that I've disliked them, but I just haven't taken that much from them. And when I've gone back to them years later, they've been life-changing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I read it and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. But I wasn't like, oh, I am going to master it. I didn't think that. And I didn't think that until she actually said that to me. And just a couple things, Annie. The red flags, I'm sorry to make you walk around.
Red flags?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
And we're going in the red. Like a lot. Going in the red.
What does that mean?
Okay. And
So fun being
so
on a
she
live
said,
show.
so I went and I started reading it again, just the first agreement.
Yeah.
And I'm committed to mastering it. I haven't as of yet. But the one thing that he said in this book, and it stood out, and I've used it in multiple times, other people will abuse you to the standard that you let yourself abuse yourself. And it doesn't matter whatever it is. So we're talking about that thing that we listened to earlier, is that she obviously thinks it's okay for people to talk to her like that.
Right. Right. Well, she
Or to
didn't shut
treat
it
it
down.
like- she didn't shut it down.
the first time.
Like I would shut it down.
Yeah.
And
Well, I would get
probably-
up and leave.
And
There's like-
probably many years ago, maybe I wouldn't have.
No, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I think one of the things around Life 2.0 is there are certain things that you would have been not okay with, but you wouldn't, your self-worth wouldn't have been at that point where you would thought to yourself, even in the moment, I'm not putting up with this.
Yeah.
And I don't have to put up with this. And I'm in control of my own body. I can get up and I can leave. I don't have to be here with this person.
But also not in that you make excuses, like exactly like she
100%.
did.
Exactly
made
what she
excuses.
did, yeah. Here come the red flags. That's
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly we started talking about that. Okay, so I feel like we need to recap it a little bit for anyone.
Just wait.
What?
Just wait. Yeah, don't. Oopsie. Oh dear.
We're live. I love being on a live show.
It is so much
So
fun.
fun. What?
He wants to record.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, yeah.
We have the red flags, people. You know what else is I just have to say, because I've started talking to a like new bunch. You know, I told you how I handle this.
You can't do it unless you're,
What's
restart the whole thing, so.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
And well, do you want to take the bug and the live thing off because it's going to be on there?
I like that. I want
Okay. Can you believe it? Oh no! I'm slouching. Don't worry. I'm slouching.
Am I
don't worry.
slouching? Can I sit
No.
like this? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can as long as you're in the middle.
I am in the middle. It's so
Yeah.
I'm like I like to sit on the floor.
Oh, me
and I
too.
like to sit crisscross applesauce. And do you like that that's how I say it? Because that goes back to my days when I taught Mommy and Me. And I would say to the parents, put your child on your lap, sit crisscross applesauce. And I still say that to my 2 teenage daughters, sit on the floor with me, crisscross applesauce.
So,
Yeah.
you know, like you would know this, of course. It's like you shouldn't sit.
Right.
As a kid, you shouldn't sit with your both legs to the one side. I mean, you shouldn't really
Right.
do it when you're an adult either, but definitely not when you're a kid. And Dylan used to like to do it because he didn't have the strength to hold him
his tummy.
in his tummy.
Yeah.
So we have crisscross applesauce or French fries.
French fries. Oh, like that?
That's French fries.
French fries. I'm not gonna sit French fries.
You want to sit French fries? French fries. So that's what's in our house. You can sit crisscross applesauce or French fries.
What about on your knees?
You can do that.
Is that okay?
Yeah, we don't have a term for that one though.
What would the term be for that one? Like a turtle, maybe?
No, because they do. I do
It
that.
would be a yoga position.
Being the literal, being
Yeah,
a kid who's so
yeah.
literal,
Yeah.
might do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been talking about
Yes.
this video that we got to see this morning.
Yes.
And
This very
disturbing.
disturbing, that's a good word for it, disturbing video. So, yes.
To me, so we were saying it's like you just don't
Well,
realize.
let's recap it really
Okay.
quickly for someone, because most people probably haven't seen this. So
Yeah.
there is a YouTuber. Her name is Roxy Stryer, She lives in Los Angeles. She's approximately 30 years old. She goes on and does a podcast every day, and she talks a lot about dating. And so she, in the last few days, has had these shows where she has talked about some of the dates that she has been on. And I honestly, like, have just started recently watching her, so now I feel like I need to, like, go back and look at her history and see what other dates have been like. But just these last two that she has talked about, I have felt really horrible for her on so many levels. A, that she was even in those positions to begin with, and B, that she felt genuinely scared for an hour, she said, on one of her dates, heart pounding out of her chest, and didn't remove herself from the situation.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked a lot off camera about the ups and downs of dating in a city, dating in Los Angeles, and we actually had a whole conversation off camera about our own safety rules, like how we handle, especially because we are moms, and so we have certain.
But even if I wasn't,
just for yourself,
my own safety.
Absolutely.
I mean, I just don't understand how you can put yourself into a situation where I know sometimes it happens that it's unexpected, but to put yourself into a situation where that does happen
was appalling. Yeah. So one of her dates, she said that she like makes me so angry for her that she sat down and that this was seemingly like a very intelligent, well-to-do man, you know, educated, good career. But she did admit that she didn't feel that she ultimately, looking back on it, vetted him enough. But, you know, you do look at someone on paper and you're like, okay, they must be like at least a 6 or 7 out of 10 based on this criteria, right? And so, but he, you know, multiple times on the date, he questioned her faith, you know, said things to her like, shut the up. Seriously.
If someone said that to me one time, I would say, like, I would like pass a comment one time. I was like, oh, you must be kidding. Because maybe they are.
I think I would just be like, look in disbelief.
I would be like horrified. Like, you do not talk to another. I believe, I am just of this thing, is that you just do not talk to another human being like that, period.
Yeah. Yeah, she said
Like,
that he was
no one that
rude towards
warrants
the
things-
servers, never said please and thank you, which for me is like a red flag immediately. Like, he was like barking orders, thank you. He was like barking orders, like, beer please, like, are you kidding?
Oh yeah, what did he say? Beer me
Beer
up.
me, beer me, I've never even heard that. Like, beer me, here, red flag, big red flag.
Beer me, you're not drinking fast enough, I want to order another drink. I'm like, what does my drinking habits have to depend on yours?
Oh, that was amazing. When he told her that she wasn't drinking fast enough, like, what was that? Yeah, you know, and it's just interesting to me because in that situation, I mean, we live in a very different world now than even when you and I were dating. Well, you and I both didn't date when we were younger. But like, had I dated when I was in my 30s, I was married at that time.
Well, I only got married in my 30s.
Okay, so, but like, earlier on, like, we didn't have things like Uber or Life 360 or all the things that we now can use to protect ourselves. Like we were saying, like we always have a like get out of here plan in place if we go on a date.
I mean, even before, okay, so, you know, most of my dating career was spent in South Africa, and it's an unsafe place. I'm not going to beat around the bush.
Right.
But I had an app that if I didn't arrive home at a certain amount of time and I didn't click the app, my uncle would get a text message to say that it's taken me longer than expected to get home.
That's amazing. Why don't they have that here? That's a great, like
so,
Life 360 should have that as one of their features.
So when I got in the car, I click the app and I'll put in the destination where I'm going, or just before, because I wouldn't do it sitting in my car, but I'd do it just before. I'd say this, and it would take me 20 minutes or 15 minutes, and so
it's
it
like
would give me
tied
an
into
extra
traffic patterns, basically.
and it would give me an extra 5 or 10 minutes.
to like
and then
get in and click.
And then if I didn't click it, my uncle would automatically get a text message. You can list a number of people, but we had this. He did it with me, and he would get a text message to say that I wasn't.
That's brilliant.
And it would send my last known location automatically, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I have it set up where I have a couple of friends we've talked about. They know like where I'm going, who I'm going to be with, you know, any information. I also don't ever do a first, second, or third date that's not in public. Like she was saying on a different date that she was taken to downtown LA, which, you there are safe areas and fun areas of downtown LA, and there are not so safe, but also we have a large homeless population. She said that she was walking in the street with this guy who, by the way, was high, so had an inability to
defend
her or
himself,
him.
let
Yeah, I
alone
mean, he even
herself.
said that. He said he
Yeah.
was like, I'm too high to like do anything. And she said she was literally scared out of her mind because they were walking around like basically in the pitch black and there were homeless people all over. She herself said she felt like she was a sitting duck. And I just thought to myself, like, why didn't you literally go onto your phone and get Uber out of there in
Yeah.
that moment? Like I would have,
Just gone, just
yeah,
left.
I would have just been like, I'm done, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also feel like one of the safety things that I would do is I just don't go to a place I don't know for
Never.
the first time.
Never.
I would rather go
well,
to
that
the
was
same.
her third date with him.
Oh, that's true.
That was her third date with him, to be fair. And but the way that at least she explained it was that it didn't seem that he was taking her somewhere new, right? And so if someone said to me, oh, I want to check out this club, like this has happened a number of times. Someone has said, oh, let's go to this place. It's something I haven't heard of. I then research it. I look. I want to know
Exactly.
what part of town it's in. I want to
But
know what kind of, what is it?
They seem to have met somewhere and then wandered to a place.
Yeah.
They didn't actually have a plan. It didn't
No.
sound like they have a plan because they went and like.
Well, she thought they did, but he didn't
I don't
really
think she.
have a plan.
Just having watched the little bit that we watched this morning, I don't think that
There
there
was-
was a plan. I don't think that her communication towards these people is that good either.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think she's expressing her wants and needs in the way that they
She
should
needs to be, yeah. So Roxy, we want to have you on our show.
Yes.
We want to talk to you about how you handle your dating. We want to give you a little bit, you can think of it as getting some dating advice from your big sisters. But yeah, I mean, I just think I think there's a lot of this is probably happening.
I think this is the norm.
Yeah,
actually.
I do too. I do too. I don't think that she would think of it as not, I think when she was in the situation, she was nervous and worried, but I don't think, and even now looking back on it, I think she's like, how did I get myself there? But she didn't think about it in advance.
And I don't
that's
think,
what I want
think
women
that's
to do.
That's it. I think that's
Yeah.
part of just having inexperience.
Yeah. But she's 30, she's not like 22.
But I also just feel like it's so acceptable today.
What's
That's
acceptable? Like
not-
that behavior?
Yeah, that behavior.
From men,
From women.
from women.
To not think ahead, to
not protect themselves.
To not protect themselves. I think it's just custom and acceptable. Like I just know that it's something that I've taught
It's
myself.
so interesting though, because I talk to them about that stuff all the time. Like we talk about safety all the time. All the
Dylan already knows what a red flag is,
Yeah.
and he said
listening to your intuition.
And he even said to
yeah.
me the one day we went to acrobatics, and he said to me the one he came running from the other side of the green patch to me, and he said, "Mommy, there was a man over there, and it was definitely a red flag."
I love that. I love that. You have to be like, yes, Dylan, way to listen to your
I was
intuition.
I was like, "Awesome, babe. Tell me what happened."
and he did.
And he did, and it wasn't
it?
a
It
big
wasn't?
deal.
Oh.
He just didn't. It obviously was a gut
it was a gut
reaction.
reaction.
He was
But-
playing with us. He was playing with one of our friends' dogs.
Yeah.
And this man came over to play with the dog, and
Yeah.
it obviously did not feel good for Dylan.
Yeah.
And he just said to me that he came to the dog and it just didn't feel nice, and he didn't like the way that he was talking, and he ran away, and he came to me, which I think is
But that's
so
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah. And what's so important about that also is I work so often with teenagers who have not been taught to listen to their intuition. Like I genuinely believe that intuition is like our sixth sense, and that it can really help us thrive if we learn how to hone it as a skill, and that we actually then use it and use it wisely.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that, it starts when we're really little. And what a lot of parents do, like when their child, for example, if Dylan ran up to you and if you had said to him, like if you'd been either passively ignored it or didn't engage with him or you didn't give him the reinforcement, like if you just been, oh, it's fine, it's just a dog, you're okay, you're good.
Yeah.
Like that then is basically him saying to himself to not trust his own instinct. Even if it isn't a big deal, in that moment it was a big deal to him.
Absolutely.
So like that, the learning opportunity is for him to hear from mom, good job listening to your intuition. Now let's talk about that experience and what part of it is uncomfortable and what is actually okay. Or maybe, what feels good, what doesn't feel good.
Highly recommended for anybody who has young kids. And
Yeah.
maybe you read
Yeah.
this book too.
Yeah.
Unexpected, recommended to me by somebody, and it's got like this kid with this giant head on the face, like yelling. It's a cartoon, like a drawing, and it says, "I said no."
You
Big.
recommended it to me,
And
and I have it.
highly,
It's so good.
highly
Yeah, it's so good.
recommended to any parent to read. I think it says from 4 to 7 is
Yeah.
the age graphic.
It's great. It's on
but
Amazon. It's
I
easy
would
to
say
get.
even if your kids are older than that, even up to 10, read it. And that's what I had read. I haven't even finished the book with Dylan, but we had read it.
It's a meaty read.
It's a meaty
It's a
read.
meaty read. There's a lot of information in there.
So we've probably read 2/3 of it. And that's how Dylan learned about the red flags. And
Yeah.
that's what he came to tell me.
I love it. I think it's so great. And it's a great book, by the way. So thank you for the recommendation.
Highly, I forgot that I'd recommended it
Yeah.
to you. But that is,
Yeah.
it just explains it beautifully. And it really, I thought it was going to be a storybook, you know,
Well,
with a lesson inside.
it's-
But it's not a storybook.
No.
It's an actual informational book geared for a child to
Yeah.
understand. And
yeah,
as
it's
you
a very
saw,
digestible way for a child to learn about
maybe
listening
that's
to
what we
them.
should. Maybe that's what we should give the 30-year-old girls out there.
If Roxy comes on our show, I'm
Right.
totally gifting her that book. This is how you say no.
Exactly. This is how you say no.
This is how you learn what a red flag is.
What was it? There was something else I was thinking of when we were talking to her. The other thing is like, you know, you have to listen to it, and the more you quiet down that voice
Yep.
inside of you, the less you
Less you hear it.
the less you hear it.
Right, which is why it's so important to really tune into it. And you can learn when it's genuinely helping you and when it's actually keeping you from doing something. You know, you can learn that too. So, but it's interesting now because when I make decisions, I legitimately will say like my internal voice, you know how we all have like that internal dialogue going. So I will legitimately use that internal dialogue and I will talk to myself and I will say, well, how do I really feel about this? And I'll just try and sit with it. That's when we talked about that. That's when I do a lot of my visualizations, but that's genuinely when I sit with something that I'm trying to make a big decision about and I really try to tune into my intuition, you know, and I have learned how to really listen to it, and I do. And I would say that there are a lot of times where I make decisions, I would absolutely qualify that I make them based off of my intuition.
Yeah, me too.
And they're almost always the right decision because
Yeah.
it's not always the one that I was going to do originally, but when I sit with it and I think about it, it leads me in a different direction. And it ends up being the better, like, and it's not always the right decision for me. Like sometimes it's like the
Exactly.
harder decision for
Yeah.
me, but it is usually the right decision.
Yeah. So I was also shown this, and I think it's such a beautiful way. Is also if you don't have the time to actually go in and really think about it, but you know that you can't make a choice, and you really need to get in touch with your intuition. Is you put one hand on your heart, one
Oh
hand
yeah,
on your
you
stomach.
would, yeah, I love that.
Close your eyes and you ask yourself what to do, and your body will automatically lean forward or back. I mean, lean forward and I lean back. But as you lean back, the answer is no, and if you lean forward, the answer is yes.
Really?
Your body is telling
Where
you.
did you learn that?
Many years ago.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try that.
From something, one of my.
So wait, if you lean forward, it's yes.
So yeah, so if you you have to do it standing, and you'll just feel. You'll close your eyes and you'll do it, and you'll just you can do something that you know
Yeah.
is a yes or a no, and you'll see your body will react. It's just because that's it. It's just tapping into that intuition in a physical way.
Yeah. That's so interesting. Like, what was that game that we played when we were young? When you put your hands on it and it would like.
Oh, like the
What's it called? Ouija. The Ouija,
Ouija
board.
board.
Yeah.
yeah.
That thing freaked me out. But I genuinely believed that like your energy would move, you know, that type
Our
of.
parents used to play that.
Really? Did they really? In front of you?
No, it was before we were born, and they had a horrific experience.
Really?
And hence never did it again.
Oh, I know a lot of people that have had my parents wouldn't actually let me have one in the house. Like the only time I ever played it was when I was at a couple of like sleepover birthday parties where we took out the Ouija board, but I begged my parents for a Ouija board and they wouldn't. They were like, "Yeah, that thing is like psycho coming into the house."
Yeah, my dad was in the army for a number of years when they first got married. And
they played with the Ouija board.
we used to play it, and they had this, whatever. Anyway,
I kind of want you
moving
to elaborate.
right along.
I want to elaborate. Okay, so I have a question for you
Yes.
about dating.
Sure.
I have a question.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so you know, like we've talked about how I do this, like how I like for better or for worse, this is like how I approach it, right? Like I start with like a group of guys on the apps at some point, and I talk to them over a few days, and then I like slowly over like the course of the week, I weed out the ones where I'm not interested or they seem to be not interested. We stopped. It just like, you know,
Yeah.
like conversations die out. And then usually after like 5 to 7 days, if they've like asked me for a date or whatever, great. If not, it dies out, whatever. Anyways, this new crop of guys that I'm talking to, I have like a new crop of guys in like the last few days. Literally not one of them knows how to have a conversation if I don't initiate the questions. Like, what is that? Literally, I like want to open up my app and literally read to you the responses
I'd love
that
you to
I
do
have
that.
gotten. Like, not one of them has asked like a follow-up question. Not
You get
one
like-
of them has
you get like a one-word-
initiated a conversation. Yes, I'm getting
Get like
all
a
these
one-word
answers.
See, I
Like,
wouldn't engage.
I'm not. I'm done. I'm literally, and I'm not gonna just like unfriend them or unmatch them, but it's like, you can't, like, what is going on? Literally, like, why are you even on the app if you're not wanting to try and engage with that with someone?
Yeah, I want you to read them.
Okay, really? Okay, we're really gonna do this right now?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. I have to open up my app. We're not gonna say which one I'm on, because that would be free advertising, and if you want advertising, you have to sponsor my show.
One of those things should sponsor your show, actually.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this person, I can't read like verbatim because they'll like, I mean, it's not like any of them are watching, but
You read verbatim. Come.
okay. So this one I've been talking to since December 10th. I started out the conversation, hey, the name, how are you? How's your weekend going? He said, hi, Marissa, I'm glad you reached out. I'm doing well. It's been a good weekend so far, nice and relaxing. How are you? How was your day? And I said, it's been crazy on my end, but everything is going really well. I'm trying to get everything done before like the holiday shutdown, and I have birthdays with my kids. And then, he had said, I'm in Toronto for the week. Sorry, I didn't read that.
Okay.
Okay, so then I said, are you in Toronto for fun, work, or both? And he said, I'm in Toronto for a bit of both. We have an office here, plus I have family here. Didn't ask me anything, like just gave that information. And I was like, okay. So then I said, that's great, a fun trip you can write off. Oh, apparently I like that line.
Yeah, you do.
I'm all about the taxes. And then I said, what do you do for work that you have offices in both places, if you don't mind me asking? So he responded to my comment where I said, that's great, a fun trip you can write off. He responded to that. You know how you can respond to a specific comment?
Yes.
He said, LOL, wait until you hear all of it, it gets even better. Okay. And then the next comment, when I said, what do you do for work? And he responded to that, and he said, well, I own a company where we incubate or invest in new small businesses, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into the rest of it. And then he said, I'm in the business of making dreams come true. Again, nothing, no question towards me, nothing like wanting to try to get to know me, nothing. 2 days pass, nothing. Okay, so then I was like, I'll try one more time. So I said, that all sounds really cool and sounds like it keeps you busy. Do you enjoy it? And I look forward to hearing about, quote, all of it, because he had said, wait till you hear all of it. And I said, are you back in town yet? So then he responded today and said, responding to my comments and said, yes, I love it. And then when I said, are you back in town? He said, tomorrow. That was it. That's it. That's all I've gotten. Okay, so that's one. So we're done. So that's...
Makes dreams come true.
He makes dreams come true. He's not making my dreams come true, trust me.
He's back tomorrow. He'll message you on
Back
Wednesday.
tomorrow. Let's see. We'll see.
I'll message
I'll
you on
let you
Wednesday.
know. Okay.
Okay, can I give you a little bit of feedback?
Yes, give me feedback. No, please.
Okay.
Because maybe I'm doing something wrong.
No, you're not. But
I'm positive. He didn't say shut up.
you did not
He
say.
did not say shut the fuck up.
But just because I'm just such a,
Yeah.
you know, I don't share a lot.
Yeah.
Like I thought in your first message you shared a lot. You were like holidays, birthdays.
Yeah. Do you think I scared him off?
No, I don't think you scared him off because he engaged. I don't
Okay.
think you scared him off, but
Should I be sharing less?
yeah.
Okay, so here's one. Listen.
All of what you're up to, you
I was trying to give him something to engage with. Like, okay, I don't know. So here's another one that actually seemed
Oh, whose
really
birthday? You could have asked whose birthday.
He could, yes.
He could have
yes,
said,
totally. I'll read you another one. Listen, I'll read you another one about like that. But listen, so here's another one where I said, hey, how's your weekend going? He said, "Hello, future girlfriend, looking gorgeous." Okay, please. I'm like, he uses that opener with everybody. It's really nice, but you use it with everybody. Okay, so I said, "That's a good opener." I said, "How was your weekend? Did you do anything thrilling or fun?" He wrote, "Nope, boring weekend." That's it. That's all I got. I'm like, how am I supposed to engage with that? Okay, wait, here's another one. Okay,
No,
so-
because he could have said boring weekend. What did you get up to?
Oh, he also could have like said one thing about it. He could have been like, all I did was run errands, or I'm prepping for the holidays, so was boring. I don't know. Like, nope, boring weekend. What am I supposed to do with that?
I think it's positive. That means he's
Wide open to fun. That means I have to plan all the fun. I don't want to have to plan all the fun. I'll plan some of the fun. I want someone who like has ideas. Okay, so here's another one. I said, hey, so I like open, start basically the same every time.
Yeah.
Because I want level playing field for, let's see what happens. So, hey, how's your weekend going? Hey, Marissa, how are you? Unfortunately, I spent my weekend in the hospital. My ex was taken to the ER and is back home now. Sorry for the TMI. Wait, so I said, it gets better. So I said, no worries at all about the TMI and hope your ex is doing okay. Not like ex as in ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, just I'm not filling in the blank.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was at the hospital for personal, And I said, if the person is home now, I'm guessing that's a good sign. And I said, my weekend was pretty different. It was my younger daughter's birthday and also the first night of Hanukkah, so lots of good chaos on my end, not complaining. It was really fun. So then he responded and said, thank you, the person's doing better now, thanks for asking, hoping you're having a good Hanukkah with your family. And then he said, I'm driving my person who's in the hospital to somewhere on Thursday, we have family there. Didn't engage at all about my weekend, didn't say like, oh, that must have been so awesome for you with your daughter and her birthday. Like, what,
It's not an X. That's not an X.
That's what?
That is not an X.
Stop it.
That's not an X.
Stop it.
That's not an X.
Stop.
It's
my
not
God.
mean. That is not an X.
If it's not,
That was just, by the way, those three were primary examples of like everything that I'm dealing with as of late. Like, I don't, like, where are the men?
out the rocks.
Tell it to Roxy. I mean, I have met some guys that I really like. They just haven't been available. So, huh? Yeah, that's true. Well, even there have been a few like on the app that like they just haven't, like they haven't wanted to have a relationship or have a relationship with me. I don't know.
I'm intrigued. Why is he doing so much business with his ex?
No, it wasn't really his ex. I was saying ex in term, like instead of saying who was in the hospital, I was just saying he was in the hospital with X.
Oh, with
blank.
X. Oh, with blank.
No, I was sorry.
I thought it was, yeah.
Sorry. No, he wasn't with his ex.
Uh,
A family member. He was with a family member. But fine, even if it was his ex, like there have been a few times where I have not felt good and the person that I called was my ex-husband. Oh yeah, because honestly, like he's responsible and he's here and he cares about me and like I trust him if something, God forbid, were to happen. Oh, well,
no, because
I
I
think
think
it depends.
I don't think it's a positive.
I
Like
think
in
it-
your situation, I thought it was an X.
I didn't.
I thought
also
it was an
didn't,
X.
He also
Like the
didn't
X.
tell me anything.
Why,
like
for the X?
I think it's like if I told someone that is it okay that I'm like sitting comfortably. on-
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
You see what you look like.
Okay. If I told someone, like anyone that I'm gonna date seriously is gonna know that like my ex is still involved in my life, but nothing
not-
egregious ever happened.
But
Yeah.
you're not going to tell that person in the very
In the first minute,
message.
in the very first minute, no, that would be a conversation that I would have. Although it is interesting, like in a lot of the profiles, I love, this is actually massive, woohoo, like massive, when they say in their profiles, drama-free or don't want drama. I'm like, I'm sorry, life has drama.
Drama-free.
Drama-free means you don't have like,
You don't have a life.
you don't have life, you don't understand life, you don't get it. Like, drama is not always negative people. Like
Yeah.
drama, I mean, is there drama in my life? Yeah, but it's like basically good drama. It's like my life is exciting and interesting and fun and look around.
Exactly.
Look around. Woo! So if you tell me you want a drama-free existence, go away.
I know, I completely agree. It means you're not.
But there are a lot of profiles where the guys write like allergic to drama or don't want drama. I'm like, oh, automatic swipe left. Automatic.
I'm like, you
I
just don't
can't
know what-
even-
you don't even know what drama
understand.
is.
Yeah, you don't know. Well, that's someone to me who hasn't experienced life. Like they haven't had to go through anything, because it's like what you said before, like you can go through something traumatic and come out of it on the other side and grow from it and learn from it and have a beautiful life, you know, that is where you are a much different person. And the drama doesn't stay with you forever.
No,
you
but it's
know?
also like, you know, you could just, there's aspects of your life that other people might perceive as dramatic, and they're actually not.
Right, totally.
I had this conversation with a woman that we both,
Yeah.
a lovely woman that we both know. We both can call her a friend, who is a dating expert.
Oh, yes. She's
And
going to be on my show.
And she said to me, that there's just some people who just don't understand it because they've never experienced it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think that that's really true. And I think we all have very different paths in life, you know, and some of us have more challenging, but also paths where you really grow as a human being.
And I
you
think-
live a more soulful life.
Yeah, and I think that you're also able to do that. You're able to grow, and you're able to you know, you're able to grow and really expand your life, and you don't necessarily need an external challenge to do that.
Yeah.
If you are focused on it, or if you're looking for it, and if you want to find ways to grow, you can. You know, just in like what Randy was saying, is just that give to give. If you want to be that type of person, you could live this beautiful, miraculous life, and you can just continue to give in ways where you get exposed to things where you're like, thank God I don't have to experience that, but you can empathize with it, and you can sympathize with it, and you can use that for your own internal growth.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean just because you've lived like this perfect, or what other people might perceive as a perfect life, that you hadn't had growth. It's a choice.
Yeah, for sure, it's a choice.
It's
a
a
choice
choice.
to learn from what we go
Because
through
you
as
can
well.
live a life that other people would think, I don't want to do that at all, and you cannot grow, and you can just be stuck in it, and you can be a victim for the rest of your life.
And we know a lot of people like that.
We do know a lot of people like that. Or you can live a pretty mundane life, and you can choose to grow and just make it something, and just make, you know, like, you know, we've spoken about this quite a bit on the show, is that you would wake up every day and make sure that today is like a symbol of your beautiful life. And it's a choice that you make.
It's absolutely a choice. It's a choice to step outside and say, I'll make the most of this day in whatever way that is. And maybe it's really small, you know. And that's the other thing. I think sometimes that people think that like their gestures to learn and grow and what they have to partake in has to be really big. And I don't think that it does. I think that, you know, we can find change and beauty and growth in small things as well.
Absolutely. Like Gabrielle Bernstein actually says like that the miracle that you perceive in your life is just a change in perception.
No,
And
I love
that's
that.
all it is.
Love
That is a
that.
miracle.
Yeah.
You know, you're always looking for something bigger and outside. And that's why, you know, for a long time, I actually didn't talk about my journey because I've done so much self-work and I'm hard on myself for it. And I think I should be in a better place or in a different place to what I am now. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a better place. So over the last few months, I've really come to terms with the fact that I'm in the right place where I am now. And all the work that I've done internally is going to reflect externally, and I don't need to worry about that. That's why I talk about it. But otherwise, I used to think that other people would judge me for having done all this work and not being in a different place.
Right.
But it's only me judging myself.
Yeah, well, and that is often the case, that we do judge ourselves the hardest of anyone who is judging us,
Yeah.
right? Do you think that you also are changing in a different way because you are talking more transparently now about your journey?
I think
To
so.
the point that you can and want to?
I think so. I do think so. And also the people that have come into my life through me talking about it, it feels like, you know, we're talking about the hockey stick. You know, I remember turning around to Andy a couple months ago, and actually more than a couple months ago, because I remember it being the end of August. Because I remember the things that happened around then, and I was like, I am done. I am done. I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. I am going to do. And then, like a few months later, Andy said, I thought you were going to do. I'm like, I'm still scared. I'm not doing anymore. I'm not quite there yet. But I can kind of see, so that has been like a little bit of this progression. And then, you know, I can see the hockey stick starting now. So it was like really those little baby steps like we're talking about. It's like in every aspect of your life, there's always that growth, that defining moment. And, and I really was decided that I'm like, you know what, I can't.
Do you set goals for yourself? Like, do you tie goals to dates, or do you just let things naturally evolve?
So I do, and I don't, and I need to be better with these things.
I'm just always curious, but do you think that there's a right or wrong? Like,
well,
I don't necessarily.
For me, it's an evolution.
Right.
So.
But you can't necessarily put a timeline on an evolution.
No, you can't. But it's the evolution of what it means to set a goal and what it means to strive for the goal and to get there. So like I said,
to constantly be moving.
So like I said to you 2 years ago, it was about 2 years ago this time, I realized that I have the ability to not be in survival mode and actually kind of live and to do something different with my life. You know, like to set a vision for my life. And I still didn't quite understand what that means, and it took a little while in order for that to happen. So I think I'm getting better at it. It's just the practicing. It's the you know, working of the muscle over that time. Because 2 years ago and probably a year ago, I'm not as attuned to doing it as I am now.
Well, I think you said something just now that's really interesting, which is to working the muscle. Right? I think that whenever we are trying to change something, a change in behavior, you know, or a change in how we thought process, like you have to be conscious about it and you have to be intentional about it. And you can't just think that you're going to be able to sit back and it will passively happen. So, and I think that that's hard because it takes a lot of energy. A lot of energy to be conscious and in the moment and to be engaged in changing behaviors and thought processes, etc.
It takes intention.
Yeah.
As we're going back to Randy Gahn, it takes intention to make those changes.
Yeah.
And it takes. I don't want to use the word work because it shouldn't feel like work. It should be these things that you.
But it is kind of,
and
it's not a negative.
It takes effort, should I rather say? It takes persistence and it takes effort, and you just need to stay the course and just know. And love the analogy of a plane that flies from here to, we'll use my homeland, South Africa, is 90. I think that the thing is something is like 95% of the time is off course.
Wait, what?
Yes. A plane that flies from one destination to another.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I might be wrong with the number, but it's close to 95% of the time is off course, but they're constantly correcting and adjusting and correcting and adjusting. And that's what you need to do with your own personal growth, your goals, your whatever it is that you want to be achieving, is that you're going to go off course.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole idea behind setting intention, right? So that you can then try to keep resetting your course towards those intentional goals. It's also why people make New Year's resolutions, and yet most people they fail their New Year's resolution.
By February, I read it over the weekend, by February, 98% of the people have given up on their resolutions.
Yeah.
So Natasha Graziano says, another wonderful host that we have here in the studio, and she's been a guest on the show, and she says you write your goals out every single day.
Yeah. Oh, really? Does she?
She writes her goals out every single day.
Interesting. That is hardcore. Wow.
And she says she is like, we're talking about the word manifest, and I think people kind of get that word is like, oh, you're just going to think about something and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of stuff that goes behind it. It's,
for sure.
It's visioning, let's rather say, or, making something happen due to effort and perseverance. And she says that she cannot believe how quickly she manifests everything. it's just like a roller coaster. It's like
It's
just
like, it's
getting
because she stays so
so
concentrated
focused
and
on
focused
it.
on what it is that she
and
wants.
it's just, she
She
says
feels
it just
like
happens
constantly-
quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. The people come into her life, she meets people. She said it's just like
Yeah.
snowballing. It's like
Yeah.
she can't.
keep up with it
She
almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like she
Which is
wants. You know,
amazing.
it's not that it's a thing that she doesn't want to keep up with, but it's that kind of
Yeah.
you know that snowball effect. It's just
Yeah.
like it gets faster and faster and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
as
It's
she-
such a good problem to have. I mean, it's not,
Yeah.
you know, it's such a great way to be living your life. If you can keep up with it. I mean, it's a lot. You have to be able to keep up with it.
yeah.
So,
Talking about Natasha Graziano, we have to mention she had an incredible guest who we'd love to actually have on
Yes.
Good Day Live.
yes.
On her show, I don't even know if she's released it, but she interviewed him a couple weeks ago. His name is Zion Clark. He was born without legs, and this weekend he launched his MMA career and broke a whole lot of records.
That's amazing. That's really
So
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I look forward to seeing that interview. I wonder, she hasn't put it out yet.
I don't
right?
think she's put it out yet, but such an interesting guy. And I think you were in the studio.
I
that
was
day.
here, yeah.
And such an interesting guy, and just also another one of those human beings that just wants to change the world and has. I mean, he was in a dark, bad place. Someone showed him love, and now he wants to do the same thing. And just he's writing a book at the moment. Says, "Why can't I?" Which is so interesting. It's like hearing him describe it, it was like, if you can have a podcast, why can't I?
Right.
If you can do this, why can't I? So yeah.
Do you think it's interesting, like, talking about all the different people that we all interview on these different shows and that come and sit on the couch with us, whether it's on Good Day Live or your show or my show or Emily's show or Natasha's show, do you think that one of the common themes that I'm starting to hear throughout all of these interviews is a true sense of a support network, a true sense of feeling nurtured and supported in whatever it is that they are focused on? What do you think about that?
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it like that. I do think that would have something to do with it, because, like we've discussed before, it gives you a chance, your brain to shift out of survival mode. And when you have
It all goes back to the brain.
brain,
All the time.
so that's the only reason I can think about it, is because when you are in that survival, you are pushing, you are driving, you are, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to get through this? Your brain doesn't think as clearly. It doesn't.
Your brain can't learn and grow and
It
thrive.
It can't, and it can't, you know, as much as you want it to, you can't think your way out of that same solution. You can't even think about giving to somebody else, because you don't even
No,
know how
you're
to give.
focused on surviving.
You don't even know how to give to yourself.
Right.
And you don't even know, like, how, you know, these things are going to, just basic needs are going to get met. Whatever it is, because it doesn't necessarily, you know, you could have abundance in one area of your life and you just feel like you are still living in survival mode. Your safety, is it your child's safety, there's all of those things. And you fixate on it.
Yeah.
So once you have somebody else to take on that burden, or you feel that you are in some sense safe, I would imagine that you are able to free up your brain
Yeah.
to heal, and then you can do something bigger for the world.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I watch a lot of garbage television, like, in the background when I.
Oh, I do that. I like to, that's what I also like.
Yeah,
It makes me.
it's like kind of how I decompress. Like, I'll answer emails and have stuff on in the background. Not that it's garbage television. It's more like, what's a good word for it? Like,
It's mindless.
thank you. That's what it is. Yes.
not
It's like-
garbage,
it's
because
not garbage,
actually
it's actually so entertaining.
It's entertaining,
Yeah.
or it's actually the production
Yeah.
value is incredible.
Yeah.
By the way, I did actually I was going to watch White Lotus last night.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but I do not have the service that it is, which is completely fine, because I do get a 7-day free trial.
Oh yes. So you can binge it.
So
Do
I'm
the
gonna
trial,
binge
binge
it.
it and say no, thank you.
Exactly, so I will have to do it.
Do that so that we can talk about it. 'Cause I
Yes.
want to have the conversation. But so I just have to tell you. So I'm binging right now season 2 of My Unorthodox Life. Do you know the show at all? It's on Netflix.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I did season 1.
Okay, so season 2 just recently came out. So I'm in the process of binging it. And
Just wanted,
yeah.
I read her book, by the way.
Oh, you did? Wait, who? the main, okay, who I'm like totally blanking on her name at the moment.
Hart.
Yeah, Julia Hart. Yeah, okay, I'm totally blanking. Okay, so in the show that I watched, not yesterday, but the day before, in the episode, Julia Hart meets with a matchmaker in New York City. And one of the things that she says, and here's Julia, who's this really accomplished woman. She has fought for her life.
That's why I found her so fascinating.
Yes.
That's why I originally watched the whole season, is just to give you guys a little bit of background.
Yeah, she's incredible.
She lived this life of constriction and repression, and then decided one day that she wanted more. And not only did she want more, she went from nothing to running elite world group. Elite models and elite world group. So it's an interesting story.
It's an incredibly interesting.
Pretty fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Very, very, very long.
She has 4 children. She basically is very involved in their lives. She runs an empire. She was on her second marriage. Season 2 is really about the divorce from her second husband, and it's atrocious what she's gone through and what he has put her through. But one of the things I found really interesting was, so in this episode, she meets with a New York matchmaker. And the one thing, the matchmaker says to her, what will make your heart happy? Who do you want to meet? And she said, in this phase of my life, I really want someone who will protect me and nurture me and take care of me. She said, I have spent so much time taking care of other people and fighting for my own life that there is a part of me that wants someone who wants to do that for me. Not that I need it, but I want it. Yeah. And I think a lot of that goes back to when you have someone who, not just one person, but even a support network, it literally, like you said, it frees up your mind to be creative, to learn, to grow, to be an even better person. Whereas when you don't have that, you spend so much of your time in crisis management for yourself and your family. And I have literally seen it with her in this, this season, where she has been in crisis mode. So I feel for her.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just thought that was interesting, based on what we were talking about with. And one of the things that when I give talks about the brain to parents of young children, one of the first things that I say is that the brain's primary instinct and goal is to survive.
Yeah, to keep you safe.
To keep you safe and to keep you alive. And so the only way your child will thrive, which means to grow and learn and become a better human being, is if the brain can lower the survival needs, the survival mechanisms, so that it can devote the energy to thriving. Yeah. So, and it's true, I think, as you get older as well, just in a different way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know just from myself that I get thrust back into that survival mode, and I can feel my productivity is different, my brain is different, and it takes me not as long to recover as it used to, because I'm definitely getting better and better at dealing with it, but it definitely throws me off.
Yeah. Well, and it makes sense why it would. I mean, absolutely. And I'm so glad that you now have the skills and the self-empowerment tools to get out of that faster. And it's a process, right? So it will continue. You'll continue that growth.
And it just gets you get in and out of it faster. Yeah. Andy, are we going to? Okay. Well,
are we closing it down?
We are closing it down.
Shutting it down, folks. But we'll be back.
We'll be back tomorrow. Lots of fun. Lots more fun.
Maybe you would like to join us on the couch or, via phone. Oh, we can have people call in now, right?
Yes, we can. We'll test it out probably tomorrow. Maybe not.
That'd be fun. Well, tomorrow we're going to do some on-the-street fun.
We are going to do some on-the-street fun. We might have an amazing guest. We're just waiting to hear about that. Super interesting guy who has incredible products on Amazon. All about your health, your nutrition. That's a nutraceutical product, nutraceutical company. Love hearing about those. It's about hacking your way to living a better life.
Love that.
And it's been awesome having you guys share this time with us on this wonderful Monday.
Happy Hanukkah for those who celebrate.
I was going to say start of the holiday season. People are traveling. Highest travel day so far this year.
This year? Today?
Yeah, I think that's what I heard.
Wow. So if you're traveling, be safe, people.
So be safe. Who's in the chat? Stephanie? And hey to Stephanie, we're so happy to have you in the chat with us.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for joining us and being in the show.
For those that have watched and followed along and hung out with us, have a great day. Enjoy wherever you are.
Wait, just give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Just going to check this out here. Oh, Stephanie, yes, our old-time supporter. So thank you so much for being here with us today. And as we love to do on Sway, is sway through our day. So let's sway.
Fashion forward, passion, you know it. Attraction,